attempting to do is give you some pointers to make life easier, because he was in one state, you're in another, and I know you're very able, I've experienced it, to resonate at the same level as somebody and pull them up. Though to know that these techniques work, it's time to experiment. It's time to recognize that form and content are different, and that he's in one state and you want him to be in another.
Right.
And there are different ways of doing that that might be interesting to you and take less of your energy. But if you want to do that fully engaged thing, that's great too. They benefit enormously. So there are magical ways of doing it that maybe you haven't experimented with yet.
No, I'm learning lots, to be honest. I'm learning lots. I'm learning a lot of little things, and I'm almost practicing your techniques, because what I did with him yesterday was very similar to what you did with me with the picture frame and then the star. Yeah. And I did it previous to, remembering I have about 3 clients a day. Mm-hmm. So like today is very interesting. I have a hypnotherapist coming to see me online. I have one that's coming kicking and screaming. Her roommate sent it to me, and she keeps trying to cancel because she's just got such bad anxiety. So I already played a little bit of NLP this morning, and I said, well, the cancellation fee is the full fee. But remember, I guarantee my session. So if you come and she doesn't like it, it's free. So I'm playing a little bit of game there. And then I have this other one who keeps telling me how her regular healer is less than me. And I'm like, well, then go see your regular healer. If she was doing a good job, then you wouldn't be seeing me. So I have all these like NLP techniques kind of going behind the scenes already. So this is good. Now my only trick is to make sure I stay out of head, keep in heart, because I find sometimes when I'm over analyzing, like I've been trying to do the eye thing, I get back into logic, and that's not where my gifts are. My gifts are in my intuition, right?
It is different. It's kind of you have an observer self, so you're stepping outside of yourself, but you're keeping true to yourself. It's a duality that you experience, and for your own ethics, you need to experience that duality to know that there is a technical aspect to this.
Right.
So you get drawn into content, of course you do, because you're empathetic. You get drawn into content, but there's also one of you that's looking at the form of it. Mm-hmm. Oh, he didn't look down when he was talking about that. Oh, the language that they used was very generalized.
Right.
Or the language that they used was very specific. Yeah. Well, so all hypnotherapists are what? Charlatans, did you say? Or all hypnotherapists are? Okay. Well, you haven't met me yet, have you? You know?
Yeah.
If somebody's overgeneralizing, you can bring it down to specifics. If somebody's been very specific, I saw this hypnotherapist the other day, they're absolutely rubbish. Oh, you haven't, not all hypnotherapists are the same. You haven't met me yet, have you? You know, they either go very specific or very general, particularly with being negative. And whichever way they go, you can counter it. The language is a very clever thing. So yes,
it is. Having this kind of course under my belt is really
kinesthetic phrase.
I've already, and it's funny too, because yeah, honestly, Jen, I'm living it. And I already announced that I would be teaching in August. And yes, I do use it every now and then. Yeah. yes, I do.
I didn't get that from what you just said. But, you know, we do what we do.
Yeah.
I want to very quickly tell you about filters, because I've noticed a lot of filtration, a lot of filtering going on today. And this will help you perhaps with your client later on, Therese. Mm-hmm. To begin with, you were both big chunkers. And you were talking about the experiences. Just going, wow, this is the experience. It was great. Let's forget about it and go on to the next thing. And then I kind of encouraged you to go into the detail. A big chunker person, and it can change, it can soften, by the way. And you can be big chunk about some things and small chunk about others. A big chunker in terms of tidying, depending on who you live with, etc. You don't know these things until, even if you're madly in love, etc., until you move in and you realise, they're a big chunker. They don't want me to take my plate out now that I've finished my dinner. They want all the washing up to be done on a Saturday. We've got a dishwasher. Let's just buy more plates. Why would you want to miss half the film and go and wash up, or even miss 5 minutes and take your plate out? Why would you want to do that? That person is a big chunker. They want to do a big tidy up just before somebody comes round.
Today's house cleaning day.
And other people might be a little chunker, a small chunker. Well, if I just take my plate out now, if I rinse my plate off, we're not going to get a big build-up of washing up. If I vacuum that sugar up off the carpet, it's not going to go sticky and congeal when it comes around to Sunday. We have to do the vacuuming on Sunday. So I'll just get the vacuum out. What are you getting the vacuum out for at the moment? That's bizarre. We're just about to sit down and watch this film. Leave it, it'll be fun. A small chunker in terms of clothes washing. I'd like to wear this shirt again tomorrow, so I'm just going to pop it in the washer. You're going to do a whole load just for one shirt. But this shirt's important to me. I really want to look nice tomorrow. No. But wait till I've got some stuff. Give it a couple of days, and then we can see where I'm going.
Yes.
Our values start to come into it as well. But people generally are big chunkers, big picture people, or small chunkers.
Yes.
And they can both irritate the hell out of each other. And you usually find they're mixed in relationships. The other thing you'll find is refers to self or refers to others. So in the restaurant scenario, where if you hated the restaurant but your other half loved it, maybe the pleasure you living vicariously through them because they enjoyed it so much and they love this experience and they really want to go and see that action adventure film and you hate it, but you're going to go and you'll enjoy it because they enjoy it so much. You either refer to others or refer to self. And a refers to self person is often called selfish, and they're not. They're just looking to their own enjoyment first, and they can enjoy it so much that they'll carry you along with that energy, and you'll end up enjoying something you never would have thought of experiencing. So generally speaking, people either put themselves first, refer to themselves, and think everybody else must enjoy this as well because I enjoy it so much. Or it may be that they refer to other people and think, well, what do you want to do? You get two people who refer to others trying to go out for a meal, and it's a nightmare. Where would you like to go? Oh, I don't know. Where would you like to go? Oh, I'm not sure. Don't you know where you'd like to go? Oh, no. I was just waiting to see what you wanted to do. Where do you want to go? For God's sake, somebody make a decision. Mm-hmm.
I love when you have the extra conversation.
So there's self and others, big chunk, little chunk. And this is perhaps my favourite. Towards or away from. Teresa, why do you brush your teeth in the morning?
Why do I do it?
Mm-hmm. For what reason? I shouldn't say why.
I don't breathe on people.
Pardon?
So I don't breathe on people?
You can still breathe on people. You might just get a different reaction.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you've said it enough. You said enough. This isn't a detailed question.
Okay.
You've said enough. Nick, why do you wear your glasses? For what reason do you put your glasses on?
So I can see you.
Aha. We've got two different things here. Nick answered, both of which could be either towards or away from. So Teresa answered the question, because I don't want something bad to happen. I brush my teeth because I don't want to breathe over people and then being offended. Nick answered the question, I put my glasses on so that I can see you. He didn't say, I put my glasses on because I can't see without them. And Teresa didn't say, I brush my teeth because I like my smile to be bright and shiny and my breath to be fresh. Now, immediately come out of the realms of whether things are positive or negative, okay? This is about towards and away from. Do we do something like brushing our teeth because we're going towards nice fresh breath and shiny happy teeth? Or are we brushing our teeth because we don't want them to get gunky and people to be offended by us breathing on them? Do we wear our glasses so we can see clearly and sharply and our experience is enhanced? Or do we wear our glasses because I can't see without them? It's horrible not being able to see. Think of another example that you can give me of a difference between a towards person and an away from person with a certain situation.
I think healing in general, you're either going towards happiness or away from pain.
Specific example of a person, what's Tom in a certain situation?
Only away from pain. Away from pain. He only makes changes when he's in a painful situation. He doesn't go towards the happiness. I go towards the things.
Mm-hmm. Nick, any example?
So a specific person or just a metaphoric example of someone?
Someone in your experience with a specific behavior or trait that you have now recognized they do that because.
So there was an old boss I had when I worked at Kitchings that she would always belittle people and make things up because she wanted to stop feeling negative about herself in order to make herself feel better by putting down other people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mixture of towards and away from there.
What's she going towards and what's she going away from?
She's going towards making herself feel better, and she's going away from how she feels at the moment, which is small about self.
Well, that's absolutely perfect, because when you're going away from something and towards something else, you've got a propulsion system. So again, we're divorcing form and content. What she did there, she got a guided missile. She was going away from something and towards something. Most people in most scenarios are either going away from something or towards something. And I'll give you an example of manipulation. You say NLP is manipulation. NLP and hypnotherapy and hypnosis opens your eyes. That's not a command. I can drop a command in there. I didn't intend to. Opens your eyes to the manipulation that already exists, reveals the truth to you. Because this is why people want to lose weight. This is why people want to go away from being fat. People want to go away from being fat. People want to stop smoking. People don't want, and when you present it to them, if you say to somebody that comes to you from weight control, what is it that you want? I want to lose a bit of weight. Okay, what is it that you want? Stated in the positive. So we're going into outcome frame a little bit here rather than blame frame, which is what the diet industry is built upon. What is it that you would like? Well, I told her I just like to lose a bit of weight. Actually, summer's coming up, isn't it? You know, and I've got that bikini and I'd never fit into my jeans anymore. And I'd like to be able to do that. So, oh, that's a little bit positive, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to say things to you, and I want you to tell me if it's going towards or away from, or if it's going in the direction of becoming a more positive outcome frame. And this is without me really telling you what a positive outcome frame is. And we're going to use the generalized idea of Nick's clients, that's happened at the moment, that wanted to lose weight. Okay, so I'll be the client, and you two can tell me whether I'm going towards or away from the goal, and what the goal is, and how tricky it is to get the person to define the goal in the positive. So I'm your client, and then ask me why I'm here. It could be Joe, or could be Verity. What do you want to say?
Are you talking to me now? Sorry.
Are you talking to me? Yes. Either of you, but yes. Right.
So why are you here, Jenny?
Well, you know what it's like. It's coming up to summer, and I'd like to get back into those jeans. And I'm sure my shorts don't fit, so I'd like to lose a bit of weight. I've been told that you're quite good at that. So could you Help me lose a bit of weight, please.
No.
Oh.
I'm just breaking your state, by the way. So at this point, am I trying to tell you if you're coming away from it or going towards it, or am I trying to get you to a point? Sorry, I'm just trying.
If I got a clearly defined goal stated in the positive, which is what the NLP outcome frame is.
No. At that point, I would say to you, so can you help me by being a little bit more specific with what it is you are trying to achieve? How much you want to get your weight under control? So how much weight do you need to shift to be able to fit into what size pair of jeans?
Oh, I've got no idea. I don't even own a pair of scales anymore. I just know, all right, I'm fat. Okay, I'm fat.
Okay, so now you're definitely moving.
Go, Nick.
Okay, so let's put it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the fattest you could possibly ever be. You're not fat, you have fat. There's a difference.
Oh.
Very good. That's like saying, I am a smoker.
You are
As
10.
soon as the person says, I am fat, they're the thing that they hate.
Your brain is still the same. Your personality possibly would still be the same. You are not fat, you have fat. So let's put it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the biggest you could possibly be, and 1 is your perfect size. Where are you at this moment in time?
So you are giving me a scale now of fatness, basically. Less fat or more fat.
Size.
And so I'm wanting to be at a level, I'm wanting to encourage you to go with the towards and away from model at this moment in time. What you're doing is excellent, and it's what I would do as well. But she, I think it's Verity, wants to go away from fat. She wants to go away from fat. When you want to go away from something, in the same way the unconscious mind doesn't recognize a negative, all the unconscious hears is fat, 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 run away from fat, 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 run away from fat. But they don't even want to say fat at the beginning. And as you say, they tend to put themselves, they put fat at the identity level. They'll put smoking at the identity level. I'm a smoker. So as soon as you say, what is it that you would like? What are you going towards? Remember, we want a propulsion system. So as soon as you mention the opposite of fat, often you're then, what are you going towards? Well, I just don't want to be fat. Don't tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you do want. As soon as you start to go into those arenas, honestly, it's amazing the language that comes. You're sitting there as a therapist thinking, I just want to tell them, but you want it to come from them. When it comes from them, when you get the towards and the away from connected, I promise you have a penny dropping moment. It is often very difficult to get there. Even somebody that's a smoker will probably only get to the point of saying, I want to be a non-smoker. You've still got the smoking in there. Yeah?
Can I share with you what the scale was about for me?
Okay.
I was trying to understand where you were on that, not you, but this fake person that we've made up, where that person was on the scale. Let's say, for example, they said they were a 5. My next question to you was going to be, what does a 1 look like? Explain to me what that looks like.
So you get them where you wanted to get them.
Talk to me as if you're in that moment now. So I am in a dress size 8. I am fitting into.
You look lovely, Nick.
Thank you very much. It's actually more like a 12 or 14, to be fair. Actually, no. Being at home for 10 weeks, it's more like a 16 or 18, I would imagine. Not that I've ever worn it.
You know these dress sizes.
Way towards the dress size 8. We understand. Okay, yes.
We don't know what they are in Canada. They might be a totally different number in Canada.
No, they're the same. It's entertaining. Either way.
The 1 to 10, thank you very much for pointing out my wonderful knowledge of dresses. The 1 to 10 was to get you on a scale, and then to get you focused and understanding what the 1 would be. And then for you to talk to me in the positive.
Okay, what about spiders? Persons come to you, they're terrified of spiders. If it applies in one sense, it's got to apply in all. Sorry.
don't wear dresses, not the ones I've met anyway.
Actually, put a spider in a dress, make it pink with a tutu. That's quite a good NLP.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dude.
no matter what it is, so with heights and it's spiders, or it's fear of husband, or whatever it happens to be, yes, your thing will work. So ultimately, what are you getting them away from, and what are you getting them towards in all of those instances?
Well, the interesting thing about that, Jen, is most people come to me because they're running away from the pain. And when they really hit the breakthrough is when they've passed that ceiling and now they're going towards the wealth and health and well-being.
Pleasure.
So there's a ceiling where they'll run away from the pain and it's really good and it gets hard. And if they don't do something there, they'll start to slip back to the pain and then they'll have to run away from it again. But at this point,
oh, listen.
take their breath, they could go towards that and then they never go back there again. They hit the ceiling and they never go back. Oh, this is something you've taught already.
Can you read?
Brilliant.
This is the infinity behavioral cycle.
Yeah.
So,
But there's a ceiling. If you can get them from running from the pain and then pulled towards the passion, that becomes their new level.
With NLP anchoring and collapsing anchors and doing it like that, I'm not suggesting for you to change the way that you're doing things at all.
Yeah.
But to experiment with this particular method, if you get somebody in the early stages of talking about fat, of talking about fear of spiders, and they're really feeling it, and you say, what do you want? Well, I told you I don't want to be frightened of spiders. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be a smoker. I've told you. They start to get angry quite often, or it's either anger or despair, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's an energy to work with in a technical way, in a sense, with NLP. And so, like I said, the diet industry is based on people wanting to lose fat, and they will. And I said to Nick the other day, if Weight Watchers worked, it wouldn't exist anymore.
Right.
There are certain things that are perpetuated in society, and it's ladled with NLP and all sorts of techniques. So, what would you say to the person who said they just don't want to be frightened of spiders anymore? Why have you come to see me? Because I'm frightened of spiders. What do you want as your outcome? What do you want things to be different when you leave here today? I don't want to be frightened of spiders.
So what does that look like? Explain to me what that looks like, not being frightened of spiders.
Again, I know we could go right into the therapy, which is what you do, which would be brilliant and I know works. But on this level of perceptual filters, what language would you say you're dealing with?
I changed fear to brave. And I would.
See, this is much easier than you think, because linguistically, remember it's NLP, linguistics, neuro-linguistics programming. They're programmed to believe that this thing is fearful. They're programmed to believe that this thing is negative, bad, etc. And they put it to the identity level. So whatever language they use, you use the opposite. So if it's a fear thing, if it's a fear thing, yes, you could use bravery, but that's still saying that the thing is fearful.
Okay.
So what's the opposite of fear? How do they want to be in the presence of a spider?
Unaffected.
And this is where the detail comes in. If they're so scared, so, okay, exactly what happens to you when you get scared in the presence of a spider?
Fearless?
No, but you still got fear in there.
So what about neutral?
You will get them neutral. That will be the outcome. But if you say neutral to the unconscious mind, it won't think in the absence of something. It thinks in contrasts.
How about empowered? I'm now empowered by my reaction to spiders. So I would take it from I am trying to get rid of my fear of spiders to I am now empowered by my reaction and my response to a spider.
And see where you're going, because you know that fear makes people feel powerless.
Yeah.
So you want to feel powerful.
Right.
But this is very specific, and this is why I'm really being pedantic here. And this, going full circle to the beginning when I asked you to be detailed about the restaurant. Until you know exactly how they depict their fear, what it does to them, unless you know exactly how being a smoker makes them feel, exactly about how being fat makes them feel, you cannot provide them with the antidote.
I disagree. You told me there's only love and fear. So
this is the NLP technique on this particular page in the book. You can heal using a variety of techniques, and you can overwhelm somebody with some. You can use your special powers, you can do, but to use this technique of towards and away from, you could do this to a person in the street that won't cross the road because of the pigeons.
Where do you come up with these examples?
Because it's actually happened to me. I was so dismayed by NLP. I didn't want it to work, so I had to test it out to see if it did. And it does. So if somebody was wanting to, yes, you could say, come to my clinic, pay me £200 and I'll schedule you in and we'll talk about your fear of pigeons. Or you could say, what is it about the pigeons? Well, they're not doing anything. You're incredulous. I mean, when somebody's got a fear of cotton wool or chalk, the more incredulous you are, the more they have to be specific about what the thing is. The more you don't understand their medical condition, even if you do, the more they'll tell you how it affects them. And the more detail that they give you about their away from, the more you can give them the towards. And within minutes, you can counter and collapse the anchor. Okay. So with the people are frightened of things for different reasons. With the woman with the pigeon, it was that they were still, right? They were still. They weren't doing anything. You'd think somebody else would say, what are you frightened of them for? But I would say, oh, is it because they might move and they might, and I did this to her by the side of her head, that they might just fly up and she, oh, this is just my hand. So it's the potentiality that they could suddenly fly up in her face, right? So now it's the movement. This is into submodalities. So it's the movement of the pigeons. With spiders, it's often the movement of the spider. If it's there and it's never going to move, they're okay. Sometimes it's the size, sometimes it's the colour. This is submodality processing. So with the spider, going back to Nick's thing, if a spider was frightening to someone, even a picture of a spider was frightening to a person, what is it about the spider? Oh, they're just so black and okay, make it pink, put it in a tutu, give it some goggle eyes, because what you're doing is engaging with their preset away from fear. I've just got to get away from it. I've got to get away from it. Getting away from something keeps it current until they've got the towards. So you need a propulsion system. Somebody who's fat wants to go towards being slim, not thin. Old people are thin, sick people are thin, slim. What's the opposite of whatever they're presenting? So when you let them go on, and this is about shortcutting therapy, or just saying something to somebody in the street that's going to be helpful, so that you don't have to get totally enmeshed with it. The linguistics of what people say is so important. If they don't want to be fat, well, what do you want to be? Not fat, not good enough. I don't want to be fat. What do you want to be? I told you I don't want to. Bedwetting. Oh. So usually children are frog marched to you, and sometimes not, but quite often a child. And this is the epitome of what I'm talking about. And it's the last thing I'll say because some otherwise. The epitome of what I'm talking
pushing
about.
yourself.
Because I'm really excited about this, because this is going to be really helpful. I'm just going to have my tea.
You should have water, not tea. The tea has this.
Water actually dries the throat. Right? This is throat tea, marshmallow root.
Oh, okay. Because tea's got that acidic thing.
I'll do both.
Okay.
So a child came to see me for bedwetting. So Nick probably already knows this story. So the parents brought him, and I said, as I always do, parents are in the room. What would you like to be different when you leave here today? Well, we told you on the phone he wets the bed. You attempt to speak to the child. I attempted to speak to the child. And of course, with the best of intentions, sometimes the parents are just, let me tell you, last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, imagine what it's like. Shut up. Imagine what it's like. You can't say to the parents, could you say I, not you, please? But they're trying to pull you into their experience because it's such a bad thing and it's happened for years. And he's a bedwetter. He wets the bed. So this is the epitome. I said, can you tell me again why you're here? Why you've brought little Johnny to come and see me? We've told you he wets the bed. Johnny, is that true? So can you tell me, Johnny, why you're here? Because I wet the bed. Okay, so everybody's talking about bedwetting, and I let it go for about 10 minutes, which is a long time. And I've got to the point, because it was away from, isn't it? So when I kept saying, what is it that you want? Eventually, what do you think happened? And this is just linguistics. And they're getting quite angry now. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to be different? Well, we want him to stop wetting the bed. We were told you could do this sort of thing. I don't even believe in this hypnotherapy. I don't believe in your disbelief. Okay. What is it that you'd like to be different when you leave here today? I told you we don't want him to wet the bed. So what is it that you would like to happen? I know what you want to come away from, but what do you want to go towards? What would be the perfect scenario tonight? What is it that you would like? And then to shortcut it for you, in the end I said, oh, playing the idiot. Oh, I get it now. You want bed drying. I see. You want him to wake up in a nice dry bed. Is that what you'd like to? And the relief. Children are brilliant, because children, their unconscious minds go, oh, thank God somebody gets it. They're not perpetuating the away from anymore. I'm so tired of being told I'm a bedwetter. Do you get it?
Yes.
You've got to connect away from with towards. Then you've got a propulsion system. The unconscious mind thinks in that duality and knows what to do then.